Life.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee Dee. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video. Now, this video is of Natalie Nunn. She's being interviewed by this podcaster who is talking to her about her baddie show and basically saying how she makes black women look bad on the show. So Natalie tries to defend herself, but this woman clearly gives her take and her opinion on why she thinks the show represents black women in a bad way or a horrible way. And they talk about it. So I want you to hear the conversation of about this, and also I want you to chime in and give your thoughts on what do you think about the representation of black women on the show Baddies and many other shows that portray black women in a horrible light. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below, so make sure you chime in. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you like the content, share and like the video, and turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content, y'all. So make sure you are supporting in that way. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
Do you ever feel bad? Not like do you
about what?
Do you ever feel bad about what I think Baddies is about, what I think is a bad representation of black women,
Okay.
and how black women are seen. I think it perpetuates stereotypes of black women, that we're loud, that we're aggressive, that we can't use our words. So do you ever feel guilty, especially like in places, I guess in like America, where black people are still seen, even here as well, like they look at us, or probably that's why to be honest with you, the kicking off the shoe thing, it's more to do with probably how you look than, oh, you're not allowed your shoes off in the restaurant, because it's we have all that undertone racism here still, like, oh, you look like you shouldn't be here, so now I'm going to make you feel like all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is that perpetuation of black people, do you ever feel bad about that? Like, do you ever feel bad about Karen, for a better or I don't know, Sarah, white lady that's watching Baddies at home, and she doesn't have any black friends, and she thinks to herself, oh my god, look at all the black women ripping out the weaves.
I feel like it doesn't matter whatever platform African American women are on, they're always gonna paint the African American woman to be the angry black woman or the loud one or the fighter. I've worked with a lot of networks, even here when I was on Celebrity Big Brother in the UK, I was on Channel 5 here, it doesn't matter. They're going to edit us to look how they want to perceive us to look.
But I think what she's asking, do you think that it perpetuates the stereotype, meaning it pushes it forward, it continues to, in a sense, prove that the stereotypes are accurate? Because so in certain situations you can't change the way people think or feel about you, but if that's all that they see, then they're going to continue to think and believe that that is true. But these shows, they do, in my opinion, perpetuate that idea. They continue to perpetuate what people already think. And if you constantly are showing them what they already think, then that's not going to change their views. So having women on these shows fighting, acting like they're ignorant and don't have any sense in their brains, and they don't just ratchet and just ghetto, that's going to further perpetuate the idea of what people already think of us. Now, it'd be interesting if there were shows that would show women in a different light, that show that that black women are not these ghetto, loud, ignorant beings, that there are sensible, smart women that exist, black women. If that was being pushed on social media and in television, then people would it would force them to change their perspective, because now they would see more of smart black women who are intelligent, and they're showcasing it all over social media and television, and you see this, so it'll force your perspective, because now you can no longer just use the idea or this stereotype that says that all Black women are this way if you start to see more of Black women who are behaving in a proper manner. But something tells me that there's an agenda to paint Black women, all Black women, in that negative view. Hence the reason why a lot of these shows are so popular and why they get so many ratings is because, you know, either people are watching it for entertainment and people love, you know, drama. People love drama by nature. People love to see people fighting. You know, if you watch any fight videos, no matter who it is, they get lots of views because people love to see drama and fights. So add that to a Black woman, then the stereotype becomes real, because even though that's not a representation of all Black women, it's enough to show that, see, what we think of them is accurate. It is correct. This is how they act. They're aggressive. They're loud. And they'll fight, and they'll be in your face quickly, ready to fight if they disagree with you. But not acknowledging all of the other intelligent women who don't fight, who don't get into trouble, who don't act like that, who are very intelligent, educated, and know how to conduct themselves. So yeah, it to me, there is a narrative to push that. That's why these shows are big. This is why these are typically the type of shows that you see: Baddies, Bad Girls Club, you know, Basketball Wives, all of these Housewives of Atlanta, all of these shows, they've shown some type of drama and fighting and argumentative actions from majority of Black women, even though it happens with white women and other women. That is not pushed as much because they don't want to push that narrative, but they're quickly and available and ready to push the narrative of the strong, independent, ghetto, loud Black woman, aggressive woman. They want to paint every Black woman in that light. So what better way to do it than to push these shows that show what people already think? If you start to put out shows that show women in a better light, Black women, then it would change the narrative. It would definitely change the narrative. Now, will some people still think the way they think based off experiences or what they have seen? Sure, but it will make it a lot better to where it wouldn't be as easy for people to just say, oh, this is just the way they are, when you see something totally different. Let's continue.
I disagree, because I did Celebrity Big Brother, right? I did the one that came back after 10 years. I was on the 2 years ago, and I was fully aware that I was a Black woman in a predominantly white space, and predominantly white people were going to watch me. And my thing is that God forbid I give them any sort of content that is going to add to the stereotype of a Black woman.
That you acted like yourself, or were you walking around on eggshells because you were worried about how people were going to perceive you?
I think it was a bit of both, but I think that as a Black woman, I don't think that's anything that we don't do on and off camera. I think even a woman that is not in front of the camera, and I think that's why a lot of Black women kind of resonated with me, even women that would do normal 9-to-5s, because they saw all of the microaggressions that was being put onto me, and me having to like think twice about
responding.
And I think, again, that's what I'm saying. I think shows like Baddies and just be yourself. I don't think they should be themselves, but I don't think that is real to the real world. Like a Black woman in her office job 9-to-5 does not get to talk back to her boss. It's just not gonna work. She's gonna get fired. But then there's certain things that they see on TV. So I'm allowed to be myself, and it's like, yeah, it may be in a predominantly Black world where people get us. Like, I get why you're gonna get annoyed with me or give me a little bit of that, but the other woman doesn't. So
but I think people should be authentically themselves. So whether the
but you can be authentically yourself in a positive way. Why does being authentically yourself means that you have to crash out and you have to fight and you have to be the most, aggressive? And why is being your authentic self tied to toxicity? And going off and popping off at people, that is a recipe for disaster. And that shows that you have no type of self-control, and that you're going to end up in jail because you just don't go around getting mad, or if you don't get your way, you just start popping off and hitting people and fighting in every situation. That is not, that's not show you in a good light. It shows exactly what they are, what the stereotypes say, that Black women are aggressive and they're ready to fight and you can't tell them anything and they're going to get mad, and you better be careful. You gotta be mindful of these Black women because they'll go off on you in a minute. And then the assumption becomes, oh, Black women are, train wrecks, and they just you can't trust them. And oh my God, if you say the wrong thing, you gotta be careful because they're gonna be ready to fight. You know what I mean? So it does perpetuate a narrative that is not always true to Black women, but these shows perpetuate it and make it seem as if it is that way. And I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy, because as long as people perceive you in this aggressive manner, they can always, use their microaggressions towards you to try to use that as a manipulation tactic to bring it out and to showcase, oh, see, they have no self-control. Oh my God, you see, oh my God, I was right, And so you then have to be mindful of these type of tactics when you go on these shows or you do something where you're dealing with a predominantly different race of people, because they already have this preconceived notion about you and what you are capable of, and they expect it from you. So when they don't get it from you, then it's like, what's really going on? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's crazy. But I just think these types of shows don't help that situation at all. Let's continue.
Cameras are up or not, like it just doesn't matter. People are gonna love you, they're gonna love to hate you, but as long as they're still watching and you're being who you are, it shouldn't matter. For me, like, I've been on TV for 17 years. The majority of my work has been reality television. So the only thing that can be tricky is the editing, however they edit things and when they cut things out, and they can, clip and paste things certain ways. But the truth is, as long as you're just always being yourself, like, I don't give a if you like me or not. That's just how it should be across the board.
I think you get that privilege because you are a boss and you
no,
are.
That's not true though, because when I first came on Bad Girls Club,
as in you're not working in a corporate world. So the idea of you just getting to be fearlessly yourself, I think I think
people know. So even after the shows, though.
Yeah, I think she has a point. If people took that advice and then they got to go to work and they use that type of mentality on their job, they would never keep a job, because you don't have the liberties to be able to go on your job and act that way. And if you take her advice and just be yourself no matter what, then that's not going to work out. Many people who work in corporate America, anybody, Black women, any white man, Black man, in corporate America, you can't just be yourself. If you are known to pop off by the mouth and cuss people off when they offend you, you can't do that on your job, because that will not be tolerated, and you would have a bad reputation when you're going out looking for work. So yeah, you just can't be your true authentic self. The things that you would do in your own environment, you can't do it in the work environment. So you have to be able to, work within the realms of, the environment that you're in. You can't just do whatever you want and be your true self on your job. You don't go on your job cussing people out. You can't go on your job drinking and sitting laid back. No, you have to acquiesce to the surroundings that you're in. Your job requires certain things. You have to make sure that you're able to provide that. You can't just be who you are in the workplace. So, these stereotypes can actually have a major impact on how the workforce look at Black women, how they presume Black women to be. And it can definitely have an impact, and has had an impact, on women getting jobs in certain arenas, because they already have these preconceived notions of what you might be or what you might become or how you might act, and they don't want that in their environment. So you have to show up completely the opposite of the expectations that they already have for you. You have to really work hard to show that you're not loud. So you can't have any negatives. You can't show up and have any disagreements. You have to just kind of go with the flow. And that's very difficult, because they already believe you to be one way, even if you're not. So I think these stereotypes and these shows and these things definitely contribute to that. They definitely do. Let's continue.
And I have to still go to work. It's not always the cameras. It's not always. So you have to just be able to adapt in the environment. So if I'm on Baddies right now and a bitch is talking, I'm going to pop my back. I'm not going to come here to your show, and if I don't agree with something with whatever you're saying, start popping my. It's like you almost have to turn it on and off in any type of environment you are. So if a girl clocks in at her 9 to 5, no, you're not going to do whatever you're going to do when you clock out and it's baddie shot o'clock at the bar after work with your friends. So I feel like people just need to understand that every environment you're supposed to adapt to whatever it is. You're not supposed to go into everything acting like a baddie and a psycho ass that's ready to slap everyone because the lady didn't hurry up at the bar with your drink or whatever it is. Like, you know, you should be able to conduct yourself accordingly.
Yeah, and that's what
in any environment. So yeah, like baddies, we know what we signed up for. Come on the show and it's turn up time, whether we're partying, whether we're traveling state to state to do shows and concerts. That's why I'm always saying, like, we don't fight at our shows, guys. If you want to argue with each other when the show's over on the bus ride back to the house, do it. But in front of everybody at a concert, like say tomorrow night, those girls do not all get along on my show. On the road right now. But they're not gonna do no weird
right.
You know what I mean? They're not gonna do that. And that's why when the cameras aren't rolling, I will work with certain girls off camera too.
Okay.
So the ones that are here on the road with me right now, I can put $1 million on the line and I know they're not gonna do no weird these girls. Now, if I had Summer or I don't know, I don't want to say any more names, but it could go left.
Do you feel like you
gotta,
because obviously, like you said, you've been doing this for 17 years. You're a businesswoman, but even talking to you, I can see there's a level of empathy you have. There's a level, like when you walked into the room, there was like, we was a little bit worried because we're on like the 4th floor, right? And there was today is the day the lift decided to break. Like, oh my God.
I heard the lift broke.
We were like, oh
let's go.
no. Like, I hope, like, because I was like, even
you
me
thought I was
myself.
gonna come like, you got me.
I was
walking up 7 flights of stairs.
Not like that, but I would understand if you was a little bit annoyed that you had to walk. And like she came in, energy was so beautiful, so nice. So how do you manage, obviously being a producer, that business hat on, and then just now, like you were talking about, you have a duty of care that you seem like you have a certain duty of care to the ladies as well.
I love the baddies. Listen, the truth is, and I get this often, like they do little shit outside of the show that it does really, like, it could be triggering and I could be like, yo, bro, this bitch is wilding online right now. But I have been down the road that they're all going down right now.
Okay,
so I've already done all of this. So I get it. I understand when they get mad about something airing that they didn't like, because I dealt with that before.
Right.
And they're all new. Like, I'm 17 years in. There's really nothing at this point in my career that I haven't already seen. I know the movie. I know the ending.
Do you ever get...
So I can't hate the baddies. None of them. I don't actually, the word hate doesn't even come out of my mouth. There are a few that I dislike, sure. But are they great TV? Absolutely.
And, you know, to sum this up, I think she just said it. It's great TV. You know, this is stuff that people like to watch and you're making money from it. So it's easy for you to capitalize off of the toxicity. Oh my God. And, you know, I always wonder, and I understand entertainment and business and making money, but why does it always have to be these types of shows that make you money? Why can't it be shows where, you know, since she's been in this business for 17 years and I remember Natalie, I remember watching the Bad Girls Club, and everything. I used to watch the show a lot. And, you know, why can't, since you've learned from that and you've done that, been there, done that, why can't it be these OG players in the game who create shows that maybe help to fix some of the girls coming up who are considered baddies or have attitude problems or have these? Why not do a show on trying to reform these women and teach them how to be able to communicate without getting into fights? You know, try to turn it into something positive as opposed to perpetuating this negative issue. Why does it always have to be so negative in order to be positive and make money? And I know people like that, but if that's all we see, that's all we gravitate to, there's no other options. We always see is negativity. So we have no other options. But if we maybe present some other options that could still show the negative behavior because it's a part of who they are, but also ways to try to fix it and change it and make them better, I think that could still be entertaining and have an entertaining effect to it, but also doing something to show maturity and showing ways to empower these women and change their behavior for the better so that they're not continuously thinking that this is the way that they should respond or act out. And I do understand that Natalie is saying, hey, you got to be able to turn it on and off, and she can, but there are some that probably can't because that's all that they know. That's all they know. And you're going to go for the women who have those issues the most to make the show more interesting. And so, and I can understand the entertainment aspect of it, but at the same time, it gets a little bit annoying when all you see is people just fighting and not knowing how to control themselves and always at odds with another woman. And where's this woman unity and this sisterhood and all this stuff? It goes out the window when we have these types of shows. And if you can control yourself and know how to act in real life, why not start to perpetuate that and portray that and show ways in how you can develop more of that and teach other women how to do it as well and make it into a show. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's possible, because once again, we know people love negativity, and the negativity always, is the thing that people go for. But I would love to see something where there's a positive aspect to it, where they change it around and start to work on the behaviors and really, work on people for the better, so we can change the stereotype that all Black women are just this negative and aggressive and angry all the time. Because I don't think Black women as a whole like to be portrayed in that way. And when you are involved in something and you're going somewhere, they're looking at you with this idea of that's the way you are, when some of us are nothing like that. You know what I mean? So listen, I'm gonna leave it here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Definitely chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this particular video. Definitely let me know what you think about this whole situation. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.